Hello guys, welcome back to VOW IAS. Welcome to the discussion of the mains test series of Vision IAS. This is part 2 of the mains test, and here we are going to discuss the second test from question number 6 to question number 10. In the first part we have discussed from question number 1 to question number 5. So as you all know, the first mains test is of polity and the second test is of geography. So we are going to discuss geography here. Right. So as you all know, just one more thing is, we are providing these summaries for your revision. These summaries will help to finish your syllabus coverage in the limited time and in a very effective manner. Because at the end of the day, in the mains, what is required is about the fast recollection. For the fast recollection, what is more important is you revising the same content multiple times in an effective way, so that in the exam you will be able to recollect things faster, and even during practice also you will observe this. Only the fast recollection will help you to write a better answer in the mains. So that is the thing. Now let's quickly begin the discussion. So sixth question, if you see, sixth question, it's on the global distribution of volcanoes. So this volcanoes topic is important every year. This volcanoes topic is important every year. Questions every alternate year you will find in the question paper. From the disaster management point of view, from geography point of view, both Indian as well as the world geography, the questions will be coming from this area, the physical geography also. Okay, so if you see this global distribution of volcanoes, the volcano basic definition is nothing but the gases, ashes or molten lava that escape from a magma chamber below the crust, that is called as volcano, and the process of eruption of volcanoes is called volcanism. If you just have this definition in your mind, then you will be able to write the answer very well. So volcano is nothing but the gases, ashes and the molten lava which escape from a magma chamber below the crust, that is called as volcano. So if you see the global distribution of volcanoes, so volcanoes generally they are present on the plate boundaries. You have to just remember like that. Wherever you will find the plate boundaries there surrounding that plate boundaries, you will be finding these volcanoes. So global distribution, if you see about the volcanoes are mostly associated with the weaker zones of the Earth's crust. They also occur along the coastal mountain ranges as offshore islands and in midst of the oceans, few in the interiors of the continent. So if you see the main volcanic belts as under the circumpacific belt, it includes volcanoes of eastern and western coastal areas of the Pacific Ocean, which is around the Ring of Fire, and most high volcanic cones and mountains are found here. For example, the Cotopaxi in Andes, which is the highest volcanic mountain in the world, the Fujiyama of Japan, the Rainier, and also the Mount Helson of USA. Remember these things, the circumpacific belt. So the circumpacific belt is something, if you see here, you can see in this diagram, the circumpacific belt, this is something it is very active whenever we talk about volcano. So you have to remember this. Apart from this, the next important one is the mid-continental belt. So mid-continental belt are the volcanoes of Alpine mountains and Mediterranean Sea. Okay, somewhere here. It is caused due to the convergence and collision of the Eurasian plate and the African plate and the Indian plate. Example, the Stromboli, the Vesuvius and Etna. So these three are the examples. So if you just remember circumpacific belt, here the examples, the Mount St. Helens, and if you remember the Fujiyama of Japan, if you just remember a couple of examples for each and everything, that will be sufficient. For the mid-continental belt, remember the Stromboli and Etna, very easy to remember. Next, the mid-Atlantic belt. This mid-Atlantic belt is a very important belt. The mid-Atlantic belt, here you can see, this is the mid-Atlantic belt. This is very important because this is a very famous one, because here if you see, we have this mid-Atlantic ridge where a new plate is continuously created. So it is very seismically active region. So here we have the divergent plate and there are fissures of eruption. Iceland is the most active volcanic area. So if you see the US Geological Survey, out of 1350 active volcanoes worldwide, 75% are along the circumpacific belt and 90% of the world's earthquakes occur here. Such abundance along the Ring of Fire is caused by various reasons. So it is along the several tectonic plates including Pacific plate, Philippines plate, etc. And also here the plates overlap at convergent boundaries called the subduction zones. Okay. So that is why this is a very famous, or you can say it is a very seismically active area, right? So the entire Ring of Fire has active volcanoes except some gaps at the San Andreas transform plate boundary, where the Pacific and North American plate move sideways. So at the transform boundaries, generally we will not find the volcanoes, but at both convergent as well as divergent areas or divergent plates, we will find these. Now let's move on to the 7th question, which is on the types of soil. So the ICAR has classified Indian soil into 8 types on the basis of their formation, color, composition and location. So if you see the various types, they are alluvial, black, red, laterite, arid, saline, peaty. The alluvial soil, if you see, it is because of the deposition formed by the silt deposited by the Endogenic, the Indus River, the Gangetic River, Brahmaputra rivers, etc. It varies from the sandy loamy to clay. It is rich in potash and poor in phosphorus. The colors vary from light grey to ash grey. That is alluvial soil. So here you can see in this picture here. So this is the alluvial soil. So wherever you have these big river systems, you will find these alluvial soils. Next one is the black soil, the black soil or rigor soil, also known as the black cotton soil. It is self-ploughing. See, this was asked in the prelims. Self-ploughing, which soil is called self-ploughing? Something like that question came in 2020, I think. Okay, so you have to know these things. So this black soil is clayey, deep and impermeable. It is self-ploughing. It is rich in lime, iron, magnesia, aluminum and potash. It lacks phosphorus, nitrogen and organic matter. That is the thing. Next, red and yellow soil. The red and yellow soil, if you see, here you can see in this picture, this is the red soil. Okay, this is the red soil. Surrounding it, you will have the yellow soil as well. And yeah, black soil we haven't seen. This is the black soil. You can say in the central part of India, we will generally find this black soil. So this red and yellow soil, if you see, it is red in color due to the presence of this iron. That is the first thing. It is a reddish color due to wide diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. And the yellow is because of the hydrated form. And it is poor in nitrogen, phosphorus and humus. Poor in these 3 things. Next is the laterite soil. So laterite soil, if you see, it is found in and around these dry areas. So in this picture you can see this is the laterite soil. Here you will find the laterite soil. Okay, so here near Rajasthan, in Odisha or near Bengal. Okay, and also in the south you will find. So these are various areas where you will find the laterite soil. This laterite soil is developed due to intense leaching in the areas with high temperature and high rainfall. Because what will happen is that because of this leaching, a lot of minerals will be taken away by the water. So because of this high temperature and high rainfall, so the laterite soil becomes poor in organic matter, nitrogen, phosphorus and calcium, while iron oxide and potash are excess in this area. Hence it is not suitable for cultivation but widely used as bricks in houses. That is about the laterite soil. Next we have the arid soil. So arid soil you can find some in very dry areas like Rajasthan and all. It is red to brown in color. They are sandy and saline. It lacks moisture and humus. The nitrogen is insufficient and phosphate is normal. It have little humus and organic matter. Next is the saline soil. The saline soil contains large proportion of sodium, potassium and magnesium. It have more salts because of the dry climate and poor drainage. Thus it is infertile and does not support vegetation. It lacks nitrogen and calcium. That is the thing. It lacks nitrogen and calcium. That is about the saline soil. Generally you will find this saline soil in the coastal areas. Next, the peaty soil. So peaty soil, it is found in the areas of heavy rainfall, high humidity and the presence of large quantity of dead and organic matter. So wherever there is high rainfall, wherever there is less amount of sunlight, you will find these peaty soils. Because generally in the peaty soils, the organic matter will be high. So for the organic matter to decompose, sunlight has to be there. More of this heat has to be there. But if that is not there, then the soil will turn into a peaty soil. It has high humus and organic content, even up to 40-50%. These soils are heavy and black in color. Next is the forest soil. The forest soil in structure depends on environment where they are formed. They are loamy and the silty on the valley sides and coarse grained in the upper slopes. This is about the forest soil. Next, talking about the spatial distribution of soil in India. So alluvial soil, if you see, it covers 40%. So alluvial soil covers about 40% of the total area. So that is where India is very rich in agriculture also, because of these Himalayan rivers and all. The alluvial soil can be found even in some delta regions and coastal regions, because over in the South India also we have major rivers. So in few areas we will find these alluvial soils. You can see here in the coastal area. in the eastern coast especially. Because all these rivers like Godavari, Krishna, they flow from west to east. Right. So this is about the alluvial soil. Next is the black soil. Black soil covers most of the Deccan Plateau. It covers most of the Deccan Plateau. It includes parts of Maharashtra, MP, Gujarat, AP, and some parts of Tamil Nadu as well. So after alluvial soil, it is the black soil that is covered in the major areas. Next is the red soil. The red soil is there in the eastern and southern part of Deccan. Yellow and red soils are also found in parts of Odisha and Chhattisgarh and in southern parts of mid-Gangetic plain. Next is the laterite soil. In higher areas of peninsular plateaus such as Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh and hilly areas of Odisha and Assam, the laterite soil is found. And if you see the arid areas in the western Rajasthan, in the arid, it has an arid topography. Next is the saline soil in western Gujarat, the deltas of east and the deltas of the eastern coast and in the Sundarbans of West Bengal. Next, the peaty soil in northern Bihar, southern Uttarakhand and coastal areas of West Bengal and Odisha and Tamil Nadu, you will find this peaty soil. And the forest soil. Forest soil generally in the Himalayas and also sometimes in the central India, the Sahyadris, and the Purvanchals and also in the western Ghats, you will find these forest soils where there is sufficient rainfall. Okay, so this is the composition where you will find these soils. Okay, so just this is the figure once again. You will have more clarity. So you can see in the Himalayan region you have these forest soils. Next you have alluvial soil here, here and here. Next you have the red soil here in the northeast, in the south. Next you have the black soil in the central India. Next you have the laterite soil in parts you can find in and around the arid regions. This is the arid region, arid soil. Okay, so this is about these soils. Now let's move on to the 8th question. So 8th question is based on endogenic and exogenic process. Endogenic and exogenic process. So next is this. So this endogenic and exogenic process, if you see, endogenic process are the process which occurs inside the earth and exogenic process is the process which occurs outside. That is the major difference. If you see the geomorphic process, the endogenic and exogenic forces causing physical stress and chemical actions on the earth materials and changing configurations of the earth's surface. If you see this diastrophism and volcanism, they are the endogenic geomorphic process. The weathering, mass wasting, erosion and deposition. They are the exogenic geomorphic process. So difference between them, if you see, endogenic are something which occur inside the earth, exogenic are the process which occur outside. बाहर का जो भी weathering होता है, जो भी effects of these wind, sun, all these things are the exogenic process. But inside earth, if you see, because of the plate movements, because of the shift in the plates, because of the lateral movements, because of the volcanism, जो भी अंदर होता है earth के interior में, that is called as the endogenic process. If you see the driving force of this endogenic process, the driving force basically is the volcanism, you can say, the rotational motion of the earth, the radioactivity, the tidal frictions, and the inside heat of the earth, all of these things, inside the pressure, heat, temperatures, all these things play a major role for the interior process, for the endogenic process. But if you see the exogenic, the physical factors like wind, the sun, all these things play a major role. That is called as exogenic. Next, if you see the effects of this endogenic and exogenic. For the endogenic, the energy due to geothermal gradient and heat flow from within induces diastrophism and volcanism in the lithosphere. And if you see the exogenic process, the gravitational force acts upon all earth materials having a sloping surface and tend to produce movements of matter in a downslope direction. That is called as exogenic. Next, if you see the nature for the endogenic, the constructive forces as they create relief features on the surface of the earth. And if you see the exogenic process, the destruction forces results in destruction via weathering, denudation and erosion. So this is about endogenic and exogenic. Now if you talk about the examples, earthquake, volcano, etc., they are the examples of endogenic, and wind, glaciers, etc. are exogenic. If you see the significance of the weathering is nothing but the condition by complex geological, climatic and topographic and vegetative factors leading to breakdown of the rocks into smaller fragments and preparing for regolith and soils along with erosion and mass movement. This is called as weathering. It helps in the formation of soils. The soil formation happens due to weathering of these rocks. The biodiversity depends on the vegetation, depends on depth of weathering mantles. It aids mass wasting, erosion and reduction of relief. Also changes the landforms and the consequences of erosion. That is the significance of weathering. And the weathering of rock deposits help in concentration of valuable ores like iron, manganese, aluminum, copper, etc. So even for the deposits also it helps for the exposition of these deposits and all. That is about this weathering. Next, if you see the next ninth question, if you see the question following this weathering is nothing but the evolution of landforms. So for the evolution of landforms, two main important factors are there. Two main important factors. The first is the running water, which is the important geomorphic agent causing the degradation of land surface, and also along with this the wind. These two plays a very major role for the evolution of landforms. So there are two components of running water. One is overland water on the general land surface as sheet, and another is the linear flow as stream and rivers and valleys. Significance of running water in evolution of landforms, if you see, most landforms are made by running waters because of the vigorous and youthfulness. That's why if you see the Himalayan rivers, they are very youthful and rivers. So the landforms keeps on changing continuously. But if you see the South India, here the rivers are large, and they are not as youthful as these Himalayan rivers. So the flow of water will be slow and the landforms does not change that frequently. With time, the stream channels over the steep gradients turn gentle due to continuous erosion, thus losing their viscosity, etc. They may be a depositional form associated with the stream flows over the steep slopes, but will be less as compared to those associated with the rivers flowing over medium to gentle slope. So the gentle river channels in the gradient or slope, the greater is deposition. When the stream beds turn gentle due to continued erosion, the downward cutting becomes less dominant and lateral erosion of bank increases. Thus the hills and valleys are reduced to plains. The overland flow causes sheet erosion depending on irregularities of land surface, overland flow, and may concentrate into narrow to wide paths forming rills, gullies, and ultimate valleys. So these are the various things about this significance of the landforms. The depositional features of water, if you see, so depositional features is the depositions because of the water. Erosional means water taking away certain land and a new kind of land is formed. So water taking away certain soil and all, and new kind of land is formed. That is called erosional. Depositional means because of the depositions of this river, various new landforms are formed. For example, the alluvial fan. You can see in the figure this is alluvial fan formed when the stream flowing from higher level to lower level breaks into footplains of the low gradient. Normally very coarse land is carried by the streams flowing over the mountain slopes. This becomes too heavy for the streams to be carried. So there will be depositions here. Next is the deltas. So here you can see these deltas. So near the deltas, there will be a lot of depositions of the rivers. So that is another thing. And the floodplains, natural leaves, point bars, all these things are the various depositional forms. Okay, so here also you can see this is the natural leaf. These are the point bars. Point bar, natural leaf, this is the floodplain. These are the various depositional landforms. Now let's see the last question, the 10th question of the day, the 10th question of this paper, which is the ferrous minerals plus distribution of iron ore. See, the distribution of iron ore, distribution of coal, these are very important for the exam. In the mains, if you see the question paper, every year you will find a question on these depositions, either iron, coal, or other minerals, aluminum and all. You will find the questions definitely. So if you see this ferrous minerals, the metallic minerals containing iron, example iron, manganese, chromite. India has one of the largest reserves of iron in Asia, and the types of iron are hematite and magnetite. Hematite and magnetite. So distribution, if you see, it is found in close proximity to coal fields in Northeast Plateau. 95% of the total reserves are in Odisha, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Goa, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. If you see the Odisha-Jharkhand belt in Odisha, the hill ranges of Sundargarh, Mayurbhanch contains the most iron ore deposits. Major mines, if you see, the Gurmaisani, the Sulaipet, the Badampar, the Kirburu and Bonai. So these are the major iron ore reserves in Odisha. In Jharkhand, if you see, they contain some of the oldest and the most important mines like the Noamundi and Goa in the east and the West Singhbum. These are very important. So remember, couple of important belts in Odisha and a couple of them in Jharkhand. Odisha has the largest iron reserve of about 52%. Jharkhand has 11%. Karnataka 14%. Chhattisgarh has 16%. Next is after the Odisha Jharkhand belt, you have the Durg Bastar of Chandrapur belt. So the Jharkhand belt extends to the Durg, Dantewada, the Biladela in Chhattisgarh, and high quality hematite is in the Biladela hills of Bastar. The Dali and Rajgarh in Durg are the important mines, and you have the Chandrapur, which lies in Maharashtra. So remember, in the Jharkhand Odisha belt, in the Jharkhand Chhattisgarh belt, if you see, you have this Dalia, Rajara, and also the Chandrapur and Maharashtra. All of these things belong to this belt. Okay. Next is the Ballari, Chitradurga, and Chikmagalur, Tumkur belt of Karnataka. In Karnataka, these two are the important belts, and the iron ores found in Sonpur, the Hospet area of Ballari district, the Baba Budan hills, and the Kudremukh in Chikmagalur district. Remember the Baba Budan hills, the Kudremukh in Chikmagalur, these are very important, and the parts of Shivamogga, Chitradurg, and Tumkur districts. These are the important ones. Next is the Maharashtra Goa belt. The Maharashtra Goa belt, if you see, it includes Goa, Ratnagiri of Maharashtra, contains ores of not very high quality but are efficiently exploited. The Chandrapur and Bhandara, other districts with notable iron and ore deposits in Maharashtra. If you see other regions, the Karimnagar and Warangal districts of Telangana, the Kurnool and Kadapa and Anandpur districts of Andhra Pradesh, Salem and Nilgiri districts of Tamil Nadu. These are some other regions. And most mines are located in the regions which are abundant in coal and manganese deposits. So, for production of steel, the most important India's steel production capacity is located in these regions. Right? So, you can see this is the map, and here you can see the important ore fields. So, these are the important ore fields. You can just pause and go through this. Okay. Also, if you just leave your details in the description link, then we will mail you this document that we are discussing directly, so that you can go through them. Right? So these are the discussions for the day. These are the 5 questions for the day. We will meet again tomorrow and look at the other 5 questions from question number 11 to 15. Right? And guys, as you all know, we are providing summaries for this prelims test series, mains test series, and Vision Monthly magazine. So do ensure that you follow all these things. You follow all these things and ensure that you use this for the maximum benefit. So that's it, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow with 5 more questions. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.